Yesterday, Charles gave this expression, Sato Bhikkhu Bhikkhu Vihareya Sampajano Ayamo Amakam Anusasane. Live with monks, live with mindfulness and free awareness. These are our teachings. That is the meaning. So the Buddha's message was very short, but it's full of essences, full of essential qualities. Namely, the two things which are taught, namely mindfulness and to be fully aware, noting and knowing, noting and knowing. Although, because it is so simple, one may think it's very shallow. In fact, it is very deep, profound. Because as given by the Sato, one who is mindful is not ordinary mindfulness, not ordinary Sati, but it is Sati which belongs to Satipatthana, way of mindfulness. Being able to activate one's mindfulness so that a knowing mind is steadfastly connected with the object of attention, such as Sati. And whoever possesses this Sati, this is how one possesses Sati, mindfulness, and in order to activate it, one has got to exert energy. If mindfulness activated so as to be connected with the object, then concentration is bound to happen, and so will be the knowledge, which will also blossom by itself. Today we shall discuss about this Sati as given by this expression Sato, and to mention that this kind of mindfulness is not ordinary mindfulness. It is, in essence, Satipatthana, way of mindfulness, as Buddha himself has given. So we shall discuss today about Satipatthana. In this expression, Satipatthana, it is a combination of two words, namely Sati and Patthana. And out of these two words, as for Sati, it is remembering or mindfulness. It's not ordinary remembering or mindfulness. Is it ordinary mindfulness or memory? It is not so. It has been qualified with the expression Patthana, as is given in this expression, Pattatiti upatati. Closely, Patthana means closely established on the object of attention. One of the objects which is obvious out of these four kinds of objects of attention, namely Kaya, Vedana, Citta, Dhamma. And this knowing mind is closely established or firmly established on the object of attention, any one of these four objects. When we say it is firmly or closely established, means not at a distance, not establishing from a distance, not removed. So the mind is not removed from the object, it is closely established, it is connected with the object. So, Satipatthana means mindfulness which is closely connected with the object. Because it is closely connected with the object, it's just like when a substance is established in one place, in a firm manner, in a steadfast manner, then this material, this substance will always be there continuously because it is closely established, firmly established. And so this Sati is activated, established firmly on the object of attention. It is closely connected with the object. And because the knowing mind is continuously and firmly established on the object of attention, it is known as Satipatthana. Is it ordinary Sati? Not so. It is more than ordinary Sati. It is extraordinary mindfulness. Again, extraordinary can be divided, can have many stages of extraordinariness. It is ordinary extraordinariness, special extraordinariness, more than extraordinary, or excessive extraordinary. In this way, extraordinary also can be differentiated in stages. Here it is it ordinary extraordinariness, or just a little bit more than that? It is not so, as is given by the expression Bhusata Visita. Bhusata means excessively, and exceedingly extraordinary. Kind of extraordinary which is exceedingly extraordinary, or excessively extraordinary. As such is given by this expression. So, Satipatthana means the mindfulness which is extraordinarily, excessively established on the object of attention, or the kind of mindfulness which is firmly, steadfastly, extraordinarily established on the object of attention. So this part from the Patthana is given as in the sense of Bhusita, Visata, and this part also is given in three different connotations, namely Akantedava, and Pakantedava, and Patredava. Akantedava means entering into the object of attention in a normal way, in a smooth way. Or when is entering in this way, how about the speed of entering, speed of penetration? Is it slow speed, or normal speed, or fast speed? It is the fast speed which we have to take. We have to take it as fast speed. The speed should be fast. And the noting mind is entering into the object, penetrating the object in a fast manner. Hence is given by this expression, Pakantedava. That means it plunges into the object of attention with full force, full momentum. That is Pakantedava Bhavurati. And when it plunges into the object, it has a meaning of plunging into the object with full force, with full momentum. Is it in a hasty manner or in a haphazard manner? It is not so. The object plunges into the noting mind plunges into the object, so that the noting mind covers or is spread over the entire object of attention in its entirety. Hence it's given by Patredava, which means spreading. So the noting mind spreads over the object so as to cover the object in its entirety. When you are noting any obvious object out of these four objects of attention, namely Kaya, Vedana, Citta, Dhamma, the noting mind is connected to the object. It enters into the object with the use of force, and not just mindfulness alone. This cannot achieve the purpose. One has got to take an aim at the object of attention, and then use the exert or energy. So you have to apply these two things, aiming and energy, all the time, so that the object becomes connected, the noting mind becomes connected with the object, as though it enters in the object, penetrating into the object. And it has to enter into the object like a current, all the time, flowing like a current. Such is given by the expression Akantedava Bhavurati. And to say when you are applying your mindfulness, applying your mind steadfastly on the body, in this case abdomen, and the object to feel focused, in this case rising. When you are noting rising, your noting mind enters into the object. It's connected to the object as though it enters into the object and penetrates the object. As falling takes place also, you note this falling object in such a way as to it seems to enter into the object of attention, in this case falling. So it has to be all the time entering, all the time penetrating, and in order to do that, you use these two mental powers, namely the exertion of energy, the driving force, and the power of aiming or focusing, which is the jhanic factor, which are both of them have to be practiced all the time. So in this way, you marshal these two mental powers, and as though, so that the noting mind will be connected with the object, as though it penetrates or enters into the object of attention continuously with these two mental powers, so that the noting mind will always be connected. And such a kind of sati is what is known as the satipatthana, the way of mindfulness. This expression again of counted verb avidity. In rendering this expression, the meaning of this expression, it is better to say sinking into the object is more realistic. Because like when you throw a stone into the water, it sinks where you throw it, instead of floating like when you throw a piece of cork on the surface of the water. It's more realistic. And also it is in accordance with the qualities or properties of sati in terms of lakkhana, rasa, vajjapatthana. And sati is also in accordance with the characteristic of mindfulness, sati, as is given by the expression abhilapana lakkhana sati. Sati has a characteristic of not floating. Not floating means sinking into the object of attention. When you note an object, it appears as though the noting mind has sunk into the object of attention, as is given by this expression of quantitative avidity. The noting mind is constantly, all the time, sinking into the object of attention. Such is the quality of sati. When we say that noting mind sinks into every arising object, it means we are not losing sight of it, we are not missing it, which happens, which is the function rasa of mindfulness sati, as is given as expression, asamosa rasa. Samosa means losing or missing, and asamosa, which is the reverse of that, is not losing, not missing, not losing sight of it. So when we say the function of sati means not losing sight of the object of attention. So the sense, the maxim, as the object arises, the noting mind sinks into it. And as one does not forget or does not lose sight of the arising and passing away. In this way, not losing sight of the object, sati is activated all the time. When one is not losing sight of the object of attention, that means mindfulness is sustained on the object continuously, and the noting mind is sinking into the object, so that when noting mind has sunk into the object, that goes without saying that noting mind comes to the face-to-face or directly opposite the mind concurrent with the object of attention. This is given by the expression, this is the manifestation of sati as the visya vimukha vajjapatthana, bhava vajjapatthana. So that is the manifestation as coming into face-to-face with the object of attention, or directly face-to-face with the object of attention. And when the noting mind is face-to-face with the object of attention, then it will come into the mind of the meditator, this another kind of manifestation, namely areka vajjapatthana, manifestation of protection. It comes to the mind, it comes to be manifested in the yogi's mind, that the mind is protected by this mindfulness. And protected from what? Protected from kilesas. Because if just try to live without mindfulness, what will happen? You are opening the door to kilesa, defilements. Just like when you open the door and when the rain comes, the rain will splash into the room or house through the window or door. Or if you keep the doors open are not locked, places where there are robbers or thieves, then what will happen? All these things, unwanted elements, are bound to come in. And if the doors are closed, that means mind doors are closed or protected by Sati, then kilesas will not have a chance to rise in the stream of consciousness. So, in this way, the mind is automatically protected by being face to face with the object of attention. It is manifested in the yogi's mind that he or she is protected from kilesas. And as for dedicated yogis, when they are sitting in one sit, they would report at interviews that in one sitting they are able to keep the kilesas out. Kilesas happen only once or twice and no more, because they are protected. Such is the manifestation of protection, Araka Pachupatana. In this way, Satipatthana has the function of, has the manifestation of protecting the yogi's mind from undermining elements and also these nirvanas, hindrances to progress. As for nirvanas, hindrances to progress, they hinder your progress, especially progress towards the high level profitable states. So Satipatthana is reacting that by way of overcoming these hindrances. Hence the expression avarana, hindrance. Just like these rockets, in order to repel or expel another rocket after rocket against another rocket. And in this way, as much as the protection is effective, then it is blocking the path to unwholesomeness, unskillfulness, so that there will be, as much as we are able to block the path to unskillfulness, we will be achieving this so-called goti, security. And as much as we are secure, there will be vimukti, freedom, liberation from bondage, freedom from bondage of undermining elements. And as much as we are free, there will be santi, peace and tranquility. We will not be shaken or affected by these undermining elements such as raga, dosa, craving, aversion, or any other defilements. So, because we are free from these undermining elements, torturous elements, we are santi, peace. This is the Santatenga Santi, momentary peace. And as we accumulate this momentary peace into permanent peace, we are bound to realize the kind of happiness, which is the cause. The accumulation of Santi, Tatenga Santi, is a cause for the kind of peace and happiness which excels manifold the sensual pleasures. In this way, the mindfulness, the naughty mind, sinks into the object. When it enters into the object of attention, how about the speed? Is the speed slow or just normal? If it's slow or ordinary or normal way, then kilesas will take the priority. Kilesa will take the place. So the speed has to be with momentum in full force and the fastest manner. Hence is given by the expression Paṇḍitā Sayadaw, plunging into the object of attention and with full force. So as soon as the object arises, the naughty mind enters or plunges into the object of attention with full force. No sooner has the object arisen, then you are noted. Your naughty mind has gone there, so to speak. As soon as the rising takes place, your naughty mind plunges into the object of attention with full force. When falling takes place, lifting, moving, placing takes place, as soon as these objects arise, your naughty mind plunges into these objects with full force. Then only Sati will take the priority instead of kilesas. Otherwise, kilesas are bound to take over your objects of attention. If you are, especially when you are slow, or if you are not noting at all, then you will be giving way to kilesas. As soon as the obvious object arises, then you got to plunge your noting mind into the object of attention as fast as possible, fastest speed. And you have to make haste, hurry up to note the object of attention. So as for the yogi, his or her work is to note the object of every arising object, to grasp it, to get hold of it, not to miss it, and there's no other work, just this. And when you say hurrying up the noting mind to note, to enter into the object, this practice of meditation is very most useful, most relevant. You have to do every second of the time, every instant, every moment of the time of the practice. One has got to do it in a hurried manner, make haste, in a quick manner, as fast as possible, and penetrate or plunge your noting mind into the object of attention in the fastest way, so that you'll be able to spread over the object of attention and cover it in its entirety, so as not to leave any room for thoughts or fantasies, imaginations or things like that. Otherwise, you will not be able to catch up with the object. And if you are not able to activate your mindfulness, you are allowing kilesas to enter your stream of consciousness. If you are not noting, you will not know the nature of the object. Hence, you will be overcome by delusion or avijja, ignorance. And then your noting mind will not be firmly established, connected to the object, so that it will be removed from the object. It will be away from the object. Hence, you will be overcome by this avijja, restlessness. And also, because you are overcome by kilesa, unabiding elements, it is tantamount to not detesting these unabiding elements, not being afraid or not being shameful of wrongdoing. So at least all these kilesas are bound to enter your stream of consciousness. And then further on, if we go a step further, we will be overcome or attacked by these other kilesas. There will be likes and dislikes about desirable and undesirable objects. In this way, there will be more and more kilesas attacking you. So you've got to do it at once, suddenly, immediately, with the use of this power of aiming and energy. Plunges hastily into the object of attention, so that you'll be able to spread out your noting mind over the object of attention, so as to cover the entire object. Then only Sati will have the sense, it will make sense in terms of Araka Vipassana, the manifestation of protection. As soon as the object arises, obviously, then one has got to plunge one's noting mind into the object of attention, so that it is connected with the object of attention in the fastest manner, in a hasty manner, in a hurried manner. While doing this, you are competing with the defilements. So you've got to take the priority of the object. Otherwise, the kilesas will take the priority and will be robbed by the kilesas, so to speak. Kilesas will take away the object. So you've got to do as fast as possible, activate your mindfulness, so that your noting mind enters, plunges into the object of attention, so that you'll be preventing these unabiding elements. So there will be no defilements falling on the object of attention, and because you are taking the priority, you are the first one who reaches the object of attention, so that the object will not be taken away, grabbed by the kilesas. It will be only in the hands of mindfulness Sati, because you take the priority. You gain the priority all the time, and in order to do so, you've got to be alert, active, and diligent all the time. Then only the Sati will take the priority of the object. As the saying goes, being unmindfulness allows kilesas. Mindfulness repels kilesas, so that kilesas will not have a chance to enter your stream of consciousness. Because one has got to do in a hurried manner. If one is slow in noting and is giving way to conceptualization or intellectualization, such as trying to find out what it is, how it is, and so on, then kilesas will take the priority, will gain the priority. And one has got to determine that one will not allow kilesas to take the priority. Because kilesas has been winning over you, has been torturing you since, so to speak, since you are young. So it has been all along with you. It has been torturing you. You've been tortured by kilesas all the time. So you will not be able to protect yourself by just ordinary application of energy. It will not be sufficient. It has to be extraordinarily excessive energy. And in noting this object, one has got to be able to apply this force of energy and power of focusing, aiming, and has to be diligent, active, and just plunge into the object and try to rob the object out of the hands of kilesas, not allowing kilesas to take over or grab the objects of attention. You're just, in a way, you are grabbing out of the kilesas' hands. So this kind of practice is something to be done as fast as possible, as is given by this expression, busata viseta, excessively extraordinary manner, as is given by this Paṇḍitā Sayadaw, as given by the commentarians. So if Sati has to be activated by plunging in a hasty manner, in a fast manner, in extraordinary excessive manner, such should be the quality of Sati that one is activating. And when this is done, in order to qualify in this way, then one's knowing mind will be spreading over the object of attention as it arises in its entirety automatically. It will be manifested in this way. Such as when you are noting rising, you're plunging your noting mind into the object, in this case rising object, then the noting mind is covering up as though it is spread out over the entire object of rising. And the same thing goes with falling object. When you're noting falling, the noting mind spreads over the entire falling object, and the same thing applies to other objects of attention as they arise. So when you are able to cover it in its entirety, spread over the entire object, then there will be no missing, no losing, and no gap. And this is given by this expression, Paṇḍitā Sayadaw, proceeding by spreading over the entire objects. And when you say spreading over the entire object, means not just one time, it has to be continuously spreading like the flow of current. This is given by the expression busata visata, excessively extraordinary quality of Sati, as is given by the Buddha. And Buddha has given this, not just use the word Sati alone, but it combines, the Buddha combines Sati with Patana to make Sati Patana in order to reveal the quality of Sati in this way. In a way, it's like the installing an army, fully armed, in a place, in the dangerous place, so that no enemy can enter or attack that place. As the quality of Sati is applied in this way, because the noting mind is constantly activated, connected with the object of attention, where will this noting mind go? It will not go anywhere. It will be firmly established to be connected with the object of attention, so that the mind will fall calm and collected on the object of attention, so that concentration will be intensified automatically, and so will be the knowledge will blossom by itself. And if you are able to activate this quality of Sati in this way, then you don't have to exert in order to arouse concentration or knowledge. They will arise automatically. And we have to take this in this sense. Hence, the late Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw has given this for those who are dedicated in the practice, being mindful continuously, and they are bound to cultivate insight. Hence, the fixed law, the niyama, has come up that activate mindfulness steadfastly whenever the physical body objects arise. Every time objects arise in the body, note continuously. And every time objects arise in the mind, note continuously. Every time Vedana, feelings, sensations arise, whether they're good or bad, note continuously and firmly. And whenever Dhamma objects, general objects arise, note continuously in order to know in a discriminating manner. So by this we come to the conclusion of the talk about what is Satipatthana. That's all.